I want to thank you for joining me today. And before we get started, as always, all messages that are released on this channel are my truth. And that is exactly what it is and what it always will be. And that is my truth. Now, my truth consists of a bunch of experiences that I gained clarity from, which ultimately took me back to the real me, which is truth. Now, when I try to convince you that my truth is the gospel, however, my truth is the gospel for me. That does not make it the gospel for you, nor will I ever try to make it the gospel for you. By me being on this platform, I am simply placing breadcrumbs on a path that I've already walked. Now, you find yourself on a similar path and you resonate with said breadcrumbs and you say, you know what, I like that. I want to follow that. And that's cool. If not, that is cool as well. My purpose is to assist those who are ready to get out of their own way. So let's get right into it. All right. So let's jump right in. So today, I wanted to talk about 3 instances of spiritual attacks that I have endured, I will say. And the common denominator of these spiritual attacks. Now, there are multiple ways you could be spiritually attacked. They can attack all kinds of different areas in your body. But what I've noticed, what they've attacked on me the most is the mind. Because once you get into somebody's mind and you weaken their mind, it throws everything off. I figured that out alone. Playing video games with other kids, I would watch them get frustrated if somebody talked trash to them. So I was like, oh, okay. So I started talking trash, playing video games, get in their mind. They lose a lot quicker, a lot easier because they're so frustrated and angry. Oh, I want to win now. Like your whole thought process is gone when you allow somebody to get in your mind, and it can really sink you quick. So that is the one that was focused on the most for me personally. So let's talk about it. So the first one, well, let me say this. This was after I retired, right? So I retired and I went back home. So as I put out another message, right before retiring, the military decided to give me a nice little trauma right before exiting, which was by design to get me exactly what it is in my head, right? So now I'm in my head right when I retired. So I'm in a dark place. Now I feel betrayed and this, that, and the other. And I go home. Then family members start betraying me. So now I'm just surrounded by betrayal, right? So it's the lowest point I've ever been in my life because I had so much going on and it was just a lot, right? So now prior to this, I worked in the hospital when I was in the military. So I worked all kinds of patients. And one thing I never understood was when you deal with individuals who want to take themselves out or who have taken themselves out. I understand stuff is rough, hard, and this, that, and the other, but I was like, but I never understood the point of going that far. So I would never do it. Doesn't matter what I got going on in my life. I'm never going to take it that far. So under no circumstance. So I never understood it. So during this time, like I said, I was at my lowest. Even at my lowest, I'm never going to go there. So if I know I'm never going to go there, I'm not going to think thoughts about that. So this particular time, I'm just chilling and it pops in my mind. Why don't you just end it all? And when this thought pops in my mind, immediately, and when I say immediately, I was like, that's how it's done. Now I see. I didn't understand before, but I understood. When you're in a low place and that thought pops in your mind, it seems like a way out. If you go that route, that's just one way. I don't see the point in going that way, but I understood because I'm like, oh, now you're vulnerable. So that does seem like a way out when you're vulnerable. That's when those thoughts come. So my vibration needed to be down low enough for these type things to pop in my head. Now, I didn't give it any energy. When you don't give these thoughts like that energy and you start questioning things, you're pulling energy from whatever that thought came from. So when I'm questioning every time it pop up, why would I, I'm sitting there, why would I do that? Like expecting an answer. I'm like, yeah, exactly. I'm not going to get one. So, but I sent that energy right back. So now I'm going to receive energy from that thought because I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna, that's just ridiculous. And it only pops up like maybe twice because I'm like, I know it's not my thought. Like I'm not even going to buy into that silliness. But it can either have been someone projecting thoughts to me, because people can project thoughts to you, and if you accept it, then boom. Or an entity. Things you can't pick up with your normal eyes are floating all around you all the time, whispering in your ear to get you to do something, hurt yourself or hurt others. So keep your mind strong to keep these type of energies out. Because this is the thing, once that thought popped in my head, right? And let's say I attached to it. Should I do that? Then it's going to say, of course you should. All this stuff going on, it's going to give you, then if I follow that thought, it's going to give me it's going to see what it's trying to do is pull you deeper, deeper, deeper into the darkness. Then you lose yourself. Then it just seems like the thing to do because you're so separated from your true essence that you only see that as the way. The thing is, stay ahead of these thoughts. Be conscious of what's entering your mind. Know the type of thoughts that you think, and don't accept every thought that pops in your mind. Question these thoughts. If it's something you're really like, why would I say it out loud? Why? Why would I do that? For whom did this thought arise? Where did this thought come from? Start asking questions to yourself. Keep control of your mind. Your mind is very, very, very powerful. That was one of the first ones. Now, a second one while I was still at home. Now, during this time frame, like I said, I had a lot going on. So I already put out another message on how I gave up weed for cannabis, right? But during this particular time is when I was smoking, quote unquote, weed. So for me, weed is recreational. Cannabis is when you're smoking it with an intention, a purpose. You're using it for the plant medicine abilities that it possesses, not to escape things, not to avoid things. But that's what it was at that point. I had so much stress, and that relieved that stress at that point. It made me just say, screw it. I didn't care because it helped me block that out. So that's what I was using it for. Like I said, I retired, so I didn't know anybody that sold weed or anything like that where I was from. So one of my family members, I'll say, took me to one of their friends, right? So I'm at this friend's place. My family member drove, and he gave me some. So we smoked one particular brand, and was feeling nice. And then he pulled out some Afghan weed. He said on the thing, Afghan weed. It had a warning label and all kind of stuff on there, right? So he's like, "You want to try this?" I can't remember if he was already, I don't remember if he was already rolled, because like I said, we already smoked the first one. But the thing was, a couple hits, just a couple hits, literally maybe two hits, right? And by the time I got to the car, it was like 3 entities in my mind I was fighting two, and the third one was the one that was responding. They were like shadow entities, right? So they were aggressive, like very aggressive. So, and it was like trying to make me aggressive, and let's do this. Let's go shoot your gun off the. I'm like, what? No. So I'm sitting there battling with these things in my mind, trying to get me to do stupid stuff. I'm like, what in the hell? So for hours I'm battling this thing. But on the way home, the individual that took me, I can remember now. this individual recording it, right? Asking me certain questions, this, that, and the other, which I'm pretty sure probably spun it into some BS and made it more than what it was, even though it was laced. That's my it had to have been laced because I've never, ever, number one, I know me. I'm far from aggressive. Never have I ever been aggressive. Now, if you push me to a limit where you're forcing me to go a place I don't want to go, then I'll go there. But as far as me initiating, nah, never. So I'm never aggressive. This thing, most aggressive I've ever been in my entire life for a couple hours, right? So, and it was relentless. Because it's like I said, it's like three energies that I'm sitting there fighting for hours. And it was like they were just trying to break my mind, and it was not going to happen. I sit there and fought those things for hours. I went straight home, went straight up into my bed, and I laid in that bed just sitting there fighting these things for hours. I know it had to have been designed to break me. It could have been because they do stuff like freaking graveyard dirt and bones and all kind of stupid stuff. They'll do stuff to mess with you, but whatever it was laced with something where an entity could attach to me. So because when you do like alcohol, drugs, stuff like that, you're opening yourself up. You're a portal. You're inviting those energies in, and if you're not in the right vibration, those lower vibrating energies will be the ones that are going to come to attack you. So that's exactly what they did. And like I said, I was in a lower vibration at that time frame because I was trying to get a handle on what was going on, what was I going to do, this, that, and being attacked from all these different sides and all this other stuff. So I was the perfect stumping ground at that point for it, because that was very, very early before I even got on my journey. That took place, right? So that was that time. That was another attack on the mind, and even though you might, like I said, that Afghan, we did have a warning label. No, even with the warning label, I don't care. That had nothing to do. That I know that was laced. I've never felt anything remotely close to that since then. I'm talking not even remotely close. Nothing remotely close to that since then. It had me straight in my shadow. And the individual was asking me stuff about childhood. So, and it was about the father figure. So, oh yeah, there was no relationship there at all. And only thing that the father figure did was lay that belt down. That was about it. That was the communication we had, was discipline. It was no, how are you doing? What you go? So if you're asking the shadow, yeah, the shadow's going to have some stuff to say about that. I'm sure. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, he was asking questions, and like I said, these energies were aggressive. So all the responses were aggressive, and I'm sitting there trying to fight these entities, and the aggressive answers, I can hear it. It was so weird to be interacting with these energies, and still I could see that he's sitting there recording. I could remember, I don't remember some of the questions, but it was like weird that I could be in all these different places and understood what was going on. I can't describe it, but that one was probably the worst one as far as a mind attack, I will say, because of the fact that it lasted hours of me fighting these dang on things. That was a very strong one, but made it through it. Now the third one, this one, I was at my apartment just walking one day, and I'll look if I can find a picture of like an old school shade when you pull it down on a window. If so, I'll put it up on the screen. So it was like one of those shades where you can pull it down, right? So if you imagine pulling down this shade, you used to pull shades down, and that's what it felt like. The shade was being pulled down, and the shade started at the top of my mind, let's just say the top of my head. So it was, if you imagine it being pulled down, that's what it felt like. Something was being, like it was being lowered over my entire brain, right? And as it was being lowered, if you ask me how my vision is right now, I would say crystal clear 4K vision. As it was being lowered, my vision, the room was started turning, everything was turning a yellowish tint. It was no more crystal clear. That was the first thing I noticed, was the yellowish tint. I was like, what the hell? Second thing I noticed, immediately, like I can't describe it any other way but pure dumbness. That's the only way I can describe it. Pure, unadulterated, unfiltered dumbness. Like, that's what I felt like. It was like, duh. It was like that type of dumb. I felt like as that shade was coming down, the room was turning yellow, and it was like, duh. Just like that. Like this complete idiot. Like it wanted me to be a vegetable idiot, right? So I'm like, oh, hell no. So I started chatting all kinds of things, making sure I bring my focus back to my body. Like, this is my body. I call my power back to me. You do not have, like, I'm saying all kinds of things, and that got it off of me. But it was attacking my mind. And the thing with that one was for you to panic, for me to get in fear and all kinds of stuff and give it more energy. These things, when they come, you have to have your bearings. You have to keep your wits. Don't feed it energy. And the main energy that people feed it is fear, because you don't know what's going on. I didn't know what's going on in any of these situations, but I didn't feed them fear. I don't feed fear. You're going to do what you're going to do, but you're not going to get fear out of me. So it couldn't overtake me. And like I said, this is just 3 of many spiritual attacks. So I've had heart attacks, but all kinds of things. It's a lot of things that they can do, but the majority of them, they have attacked the mind, because your mind is so powerful. And if you can overtake somebody's mind, then that's a win. That's the quickest thing. Look at all these. Conor McGregor is the best one at it right there. Look how he'll get in these people's heads in their mind before a fight. And now you're so angry. I'm a mess. Like you off your game plan because they're in your mind. You let someone in. Stay focused. Don't worry about all that. But that's the whole purpose of it, is to get in your mind. So the same thing with these spiritual attacks, to get you in fear, get you whatever, is to break you down. Let me give you a parable about the wishing tree. So there was a man. He had been walking through a vast desert for many days. He was exhausted, thirsty, ready to collapse. At last, he saw a tree standing alone in the sand. Relieved, he walked to the tree and sat down in its shade. Unbeknownst to him, he was under a wishing tree, a tree that instantly fulfilled whatever thought passed through the mind of anyone who rested beneath it. The man sighed and thought, I'm so tired. I wish I had some water. Immediately, cool water appeared right beside him. Startled but grateful, he drank, then deeply another thought came. I'm so hungry. I wish I had food. At once, delicious food appeared, fruits, breads, rich dishes, exactly what he desired. Amazed, he ate and relaxed. Comfort settled in, and soon his mind began to wander. He thought, this feels strange. What is this? What is this? What if this place is haunted? And in that moment, as a thought arose, ghosts appeared all around him, or all around the tree. Then fear rushed into him. Oh no, what if these ghosts are here to kill me? And instantly they did. So that parable shows you the power of the mind. He, under a wishing tree, got 2 wishes right out the gate of what he wanted, and he let the mind carry him right to fear. And when that fear overtook him, that's what happened. Now, I believe it's another book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. I believe that's the one. Joseph Murphy, old school guy. And one of the stories in his book It was about a guy who got somehow locked. I think it was like a shipping container, some kind of container, and he had some kind of recording device, and he was documenting this experience. And he was like, "Oh man, like the air's getting thinner in here, and blah blah blah. I think I'm gonna suffocate. I'm gonna die." So he started putting his last rites on this recorder and all this other stuff, right? And he ended up dying. And when they found the body, they got the recorder, found out what happened, and they realized, they were like, all these cracks in here, he had plenty of air. He could have survived a long time in here. It doesn't make any sense. When they heard the recording, like, it doesn't make any sense. He should not have suffocated at all. But it was the power of his mind. When you stress about something, when you say, oh, this is what you're putting that energy to it, good or bad, the mind does not distinguish between your desires and your fears. It gives you exactly what you're asking for, what you apply feeling to. I brought this up in another message. Now I'll bring it up here. One day, I was cleaning my apartment with sage, because sage gets rid of negative energy, right? So I was cleaning my apartment, going through with the sage. And where I started in the beginning, or by the front door, and I end up all the way back in my bedroom. So I'm going through the entire house, cleaning up during the sage. And in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool, I see this thing burning down. Let me hurry up and get to the bedroom, because I don't want this freaking ash to pop off on my pillow or on the bed and burn a hole in it. So let me hurry up, right? So I'm sitting there thinking about this, right? And I'm focusing on this. And I get there, get near the room, I get there. Right when I get by my pillow, by my bed, what do you think happened? That ass jumped right off, right on the pillow, burnt the hole right in the thing. And at that precise moment, when that happened, words popped in my mind, and that's how you manifest. And I thought to myself, I was like, what? I totally did not want this to happen. That ain't how, I wasn't trying to make, and I was like, oh, because I understood. I finally understood. I knew what I did not want to happen. I did not want my freaking pillow to get burned, right? I didn't think about all the end result of me having a nice clean apartment and nothing was burnt and I got all that negative energy out my space. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about how I don't want my pillow to burn. And I thought about it. I visualized it in my mind, and I applied energy to it with I really don't want that. I'm sitting there putting all this energy into what I did not want. So guess what I got? What I did not want, because that's where my focus was at. Your mind is powerful. You will create whatever you're thinking and or feeling. It doesn't matter what's going on in your reality. You can find a lesson or some type of blessing, something to be grateful for out of every lesson that's going on in your life. All of them. It's very easy to find out what's negative about it, what's wrong with whatever situation you're going through. Easy. Your mind's going to go to it quickly because that's what you trained it to do. But you can also train it to look for the positive, because everything's momentum. You've already built up enough momentum for it to look for the negative, so that's what it does automatically. Train it to do the opposite. Our minds are very, very, very powerful. And I put out all these messages giving you all the stupid stuff that I've done in my life because I don't care, to be honest with you. I really don't care, because that was a different version of me. Completely different version. Like, that version does not exist anymore. So if I can tell someone who is currently that type of version and give them a way to see that, you know what, if he made it out this, I can make it out this. Because you can, and you will. And right there, I'm going to leave it at that. And as always, if you got anything out of this message, I ask you to like, subscribe, and I will definitely check you in the next one.